I don't remember if it was 6 or 8 years ago because it's been a long time and it's also kind of late at night. But I remember getting this offer from somebody else who runs a similar type of business. We went to sit down at a hookah lounge and we got some tea. And we were talking about business, and I asked what it was that he wanted to discuss. And he wanted to talk about me closing. And he had offered me something around $80,000 to go away. And it was an interesting offer because back then, I know this probably sounds weird now, but I'm sure there are people watching who can understand the feeling. Back then, the idea of $80,000 to just simply do something else for a living was like better than what winning the lottery would be like to me right now. You have to understand when you're broke and somebody just says, "Here's $80,000 to just do something else." That is a that was better than a lottery jackpot back then. And it was an interesting offer. And I said, "Well, that's not really something that I'm interested in. Granted, that is a lot of money, but I like what I do. I like seeing the look on people's faces when we're able to recover their data or make something work again that everybody else said would be impossible. There's a kick to that I just don't think that I would leave and there's behind. And there's something really fun about knowing that of all the people available, that you were the one that was able to help them. He looked at me kind of funny and said, there's no point in trying to change the world through computer repair. Like, there's better ways to change the world, and like, why are you wasting time on trying to change the world through computer repair?" And after he said that, he had also talked and alluded to the fact that he had business partners that were helping him about to open more stores, and that if these stores open, listen, it's not like, they're mean people. It's just they're going to kind of want to know who are the competitors, what is it that they do, how is it that they're doing what they're doing, and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't really understand what he was getting at with that until about a few months later when I started getting audited and having inspectors come in, and that wasn't fun. But yeah, the jealous jackass most likely reported me. It's something that he seemed like a very jealous individual, and it does seem like something that he would do, and that sucked. But the point of it was when he said, "You're not going to change the world through computer repair." Now, that's something that I think is a point that I really want to drive home this 6 to 8 years later, now that 80,000, the idea of $80,000 to stop doing what I'm doing is just at this point chump change. And it's the idea that in order to change the world, that you need to be some best in class or you need to be some Nobel Prize winning scientist, or you need to be the individual that cures polio. It's the idea that you simply being yourself is not enough to change the world. And that's the idea that I want to challenge, and that's the idea that I think, in spite of all of my many terrible flaws, in spite of my lack of education, in spite of the fact that what I do is essentially a glorified janitorial work, that I think that I've been able to disprove this person's statement. And the idea here is that in whatever small corner of the world you're in, whether you're fixing boards, whether you're curing polio, or whether it is that you are pumping gas or working as a clerk at a Walmart, by caring about what it is that you do, and by caring about making the lives of the people that you deal with and interact with around you better, that regardless of what it is that you are doing, you can indeed change the world. Because the thing is, at the time that offer was made to me, I did not know that I would have a YouTube channel, much less a channel with almost 1 million subscribers. I didn't know that there would be hundreds of thousands of people watching every month, learning how to take trash and make it work again. I didn't know that there would be this shift in the culture that would occur as a result of the content that I was a part of making. I wouldn't know that there was this great repair community of people coming together that thought that what we were doing was cool because they watched this stuff and decided to pick up an iron. I didn't know that there would be people who would actually be able to take whatever it is that I made and turn it into their method of making money when before they didn't have a method of making money. I didn't know that there would be this type of effect. I couldn't have possibly saw that far ahead into the future and realized that by just caring about what I do and caring about making the lives of the people around me just a little bit better, that it would have actually resulted in there being some sort of change in the world. It was very easy to believe that individual when he said, "You're not going to change the world through computer repair. Maybe you should just take my $80,000 to go away so my store can make more money and you can get the hell out." It was very easy at the time to believe that because I didn't have the ability to see ahead to the change that would actually occur if I simply kept trucking on and kept caring about what I was doing and caring about making the lives of the people around me just a little bit better through caring about what it is that I do. But it did. And I want to make sure that if somebody ever comes along in your life and tries to convince you that you shouldn't care so much about what you do because it is inconsequential and meaningless, that you remember, so long as you care about what you do and you believe that what you're doing is helping people and making the lives of people around you better, that it actually does matter. And the people who are telling you that should go F off. If you are even just working as a clerk at a gas station, you have somebody come by, and that's somebody that was feeling ridiculously depressed that day, and you manage to say something to them that makes them think, you know what? Maybe I should put effort into my life that I wasn't before. And they wind up making or creating something that is amazing and that helps people. Then you did kind of change the world in some way. If you wind up teaching hundreds of thousands of people how it is that they can make money off of taking trash and making it into something that works and giving them that little kick of dopamine that comes from knowing that they use their own analytical mindset to make trash into something useful and valuable, then you indeed have in some small way changed the world. You do not need to be some heroic figure or some genius level intellect or some top level athlete to change the world. All you need to do is in your small corner of the world, whatever that is, even if it's something as basic as luxury Facebook machine computer repair, whatever small corner of the world that you're in, put in your best effort to help people as much as you can. Care about it. Treat what you're doing as if it is something that matters. Because if you treat what you're doing as if it's something that matters, then it may actually become something that matters. Then you may actually wind up touching people's lives. You may actually wind up seeing legislation get changed. You may actually see culture shift in a positive direction. When I think about what's going on now and how people like Henrik Husby are saying, you know what? No. Refurbishing is not counterfeiting. I will challenge you with that law. I will take it to Norway's court, and I will win against a $1 trillion company. I think that that's great. When I see companies like Motorola decide that they're going to sell to companies that sell to end users and help them fix their products with their blessing, I think that that's great. And when I have people contact me and say, here's a picture of the car I was living in before I started watching your channel, here's a picture of my store on the first opening day, you know, it really does make me realize just the degree and depth to which that individual that offered me $80,000 to go away was wrong. And it makes me very happy that I did not take that little hanging carrot, which at the time seemed like a complete Thanksgiving dinner to somebody who was starving, when it would have been very easy and convenient to do so. So as I hit 700,000 subscribers here, and as we continue on the road to 1 million, I just want to make sure that everybody watching, regardless of whether you are in a crappy job or a crappy situation or a part of the world where you just don't think you're having an effect on anything, I want you to know that as long as you care about what you do, and as long as you care about making your little corner of the world the best that it can be, that you are actually changing the world. And you may someday have a real and serious effect. Treat what you do in your small corner of the world as if it matters, because it does matter. And someday, it may matter a lot more than you can ever imagine to hundreds of thousands of people that you've never even met. Don't allow anybody who has invested less in themselves than you have invested in yourself to convince you that what you're doing doesn't matter, simply because they believe that what they're doing doesn't matter. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something. I hope to continue making instructional videos, and I hope to continue on the road to 1 million. Thank you so much for allowing me to do what I do. Thank you so much for supporting me in what it is that I do. And that's it for today.